Okay, I think we are streaming and live. If there's anybody in chat, maybe you could confirm. I'm just sort of going between two screens here, two computers actually. Okay, let's. Oh, looks like we got one more minute. Just give it a moment. Okay, so welcome to my first ever Steam Fest stream. That's hard to say. Say that 3 times. Hello, I'm Cassius. I'm the solo developer behind MiLE Taxi, the game which we are going to be playing today. This stream is going to run for about an hour. That's a bit of a long time to stream a game like this, but it can be done. It will be done, and we'll do it together. Um, okay, so before I begin, let me tell you what Mile High Taxi is all about. So basically, it's a blend between the movie The Fifth Element and the video game The Crazy Taxi. So sci-fi fans will most certainly remember the taxi chase scene in the movie The Fifth Element. The Fifth Element starring Bruce Willis, who plays a down on his luck taxi driver in that movie in a futuristic New York City where the buildings are all basically about a mile high and he is flying a taxi. He receives an unexpected passenger in that movie, as you'll well recall. In any event, my game Mile High Taxi very much takes visual cues from that movie, as well as very similar gameplay to the original Crazy Taxi movie or video game rather. So basically, the player is tasked with flying through Mile High City, which is the urban environment for this game, and picking up as many passengers and dropping them up as fast as you can before the meter clock runs out. The more passengers, the faster that you do your passengers, the more time you get added to your clock, and the more passengers you pick up and deliver, the more money you earn and add to your career. At first, the controls are going to feel maybe a little loose. I've even heard people describe it as being sensitive. But once you get a handle on the controls of this game, it really has that stop, go, stop kind of feel to it, where you can just really be going, and then find your destination, and then bam, right on that spot. And that's the kind of gameplay that I really love. That's the kind of gameplay I also found in Crazy Taxi that I enjoyed. So I wanted to bring that mechanic to my game as well. But speaking of which, this is a controller game only, so it's not going to work with your mouse and your keyboard. Just before we get into the game, though, I would like to put on the trailer in case there's some of you that are watching right now that are not at all familiar with this game and aren't really too sure what I'm talking about. Just give me a moment here. All right, let's back this up.
I'm heading to Sonotip, level 645.
Shut up!
Ew, what the hell is that smell?
There's more where that came from. How am I supposed to do my makeup in
Wanna
here?
drive? No? Then shut it!
You suck at driving. Oh, you like the smashy hair?
Watch me, you idiot.
No, chill.
Nearly killed me, man.
Next time, I'm taking Johnny Cab. Last time I was in Mile High City, some rando attacked me with popcorn.
You're crazy. Better hold on.
Ugh. 0 star rating for me. I'm going to be late!
What the heck just happened, rookie?
Okay. Actually, before I do anything, let me make sure my audio is still coming through. I should move my camera too. Check, check. Yeah, looks like my audio is still coming through, so I guess everything is okay. Okay. So I'm aiming for a late November release of this game. Let's go ahead and put on the alpha test. Just spin this up. And I'm really hoping that everybody can hear the audio that's going to come through for this. Right now, it's a very, very quiet scene, so don't be too worried if you can't hear the music at the moment.
Citizen, this is your dispatcher, Bones. So today's your first day, huh? Well, let me get one thing straight right off. I may be your dispatcher, but I don't want to hear from you. And you certainly don't want to hear from me. Head to floor 625. Your car is waiting there. You're authorized to work floors 600 to 650 only. That's floors 600 to 650. Now, I'm only gonna say this once, rookie. Do not deviate. Or so help me, I'll turn you into one of them meat popsicles everyone loves too much. That's no joke, rookie. You leave your employment zone, your car's AI is gonna freak out. And you'll probably lose control. So stay where you belong. Why do I always get stuck with the new ones? Now you'd better be every bit as awesome, and I mean super green, as head office is making you out to be. I don't want to see any blips show up on my screen. Ever. There's 3.5 billion customers out there today, so go to your car already and make me some money. Oh, one last thing. Keep your eyes open, rookie. I'm getting reports of strange things happening in Mile High City these days. All right, go get going.
Okay, so as he pointed out multiple times there, we're employed to work floors 600 to 650 only. Oops, this is a development build. Let me get rid of that. Actually, I'm just going to go with that first player there. So we start off with 3 different kinds of gameplay. There's free roam mode, where basically you can go in and there's no clock or anything like that. There's no picking up passengers. It's just an opportunity for you to browse around the city and get to learn it, which becomes more and more important as you play the game, to find those quick little shortcuts and things like that. Play is just your regular game mode. That's where you can choose whatever passengers you want to pick up and drop off. Challenge mode is more sequential, where you have to pick up a specified order of passengers. So you have to pick up passenger 1 in order to get to passenger 2, passenger 3, etc., etc. And then you sort of level up on that. I'm just going to go with some red hair here. All right, let's go ahead.
Let's get out there and make some money.
Turn off my camera for a little while here.
All right, rookie. Let's take a couple of minutes to familiarize you with your cab's controls. Listen up. You know how I
Test.
hate repeating myself.
Just making sure that audio. Yep.
But believe it or not. Use your gamepad's left analog stick to steer left, right, up, and down. The gas pedal is the right trigger, and your brakes are the left trigger. Now we're gonna get you accustomed. To pick up a passenger, park your cab just above the ground on that green marker up ahead. You gotta come to a complete stop.
Okay, so make sure that the first time that you play this, you actually go through and pay attention to this tutorial. I've watched some people play this and not pay attention to the tutorial, and then not have a whole lot of idea of what they're supposed to be doing once they actually get into the game, and they appear very confused. So first, I'm told to pick up a passenger here. Pretty straightforward, right?
Now drop the passenger off up ahead. See that indicator arrow towards the top middle of your screen? It'll get bigger as you get close to your destination.
Just while I'm in here, I should point out that some of these pickup and drop off colors here may appear different on your version of the game. I'm switching sort of between versions of different scenes here in my current
Hey,
build.
if you ever get stuck in a bad spot, like an alley, put the cab in reverse. That's the south button on your gamepad. Go ahead and give it a shot. Drive into one of those alleys up ahead, and then reverse out. Okay. Toss it into reverse by holding the south. Every time you complete a trip, you learn money and time. How much money and time you make is up to you. This next part's important, so listen close. Your screen is going to highlight people waiting for a taxi. You've already seen that in action. There are 3 colors it'll show. The first is red. Those are short trip fares. You won't earn much money a time, but they're quick. The second is blue. Those are medium distance fares, and they're your real money makers. And if there's one thing I like, it's money. The last kind are long haul fares. These ones are green and worth the most money and time. Thing is, you risk running out of time before you can drop the passenger off. Oh yeah, if you're good enough, head office might just send you a booster pass. If they do, you'll find it at any taxi bay. To use it, hold the gas trigger and the north button at the same time. They take a couple of seconds to cycle up and down, and they're good for a total of 60 seconds. I'm gonna tell you right now, rookie, be careful with these things. If held long enough, they'll get you moving up to 450 kilometers an hour. Way faster than skyway speed limits. So be smart about how you use them and when you use them. We're almost done, thankfully. Two things. First, if you get stuck against a wall or stop too high or something, use your right analog stick to pull away a bit or to strafe up or down. Of course, you don't need to worry about that because you're not going to be hitting any walls or anything, right? Second, if you can't find a passenger,
I know it's
have
really
it on
hard.
AI radar. It'll show you where they are, how far they're going, and
Yeah, so that's actually pretty important. That radar on the left-hand side there shows you where there's passengers waiting.
don't make me so late. And remember, keep your eyes open out there, rookie. When you're ready, push the start button.
Okay. So just a couple of things while this loads up here, if I can talk and play at the same time. So I've been working on Mile High Taxi since December of 2019, so that's about 3 years now. Actually, let's just go ahead and play. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so again, the objective here is that you want to find a passenger and pick them up, and as described in the tutorial, you simply hover above them and they hop in.
Why don't you go ahead and take me to Queen and University? Level 16.
Okay, so again, as mentioned in the tutorial, if you look up towards the top middle there, you'll see that arrow. It's pretty tiny right now because I'm kind of far away from my destination. But if I continue to follow it, it'll point me right to the destination of my passenger. Now, as of right now, and then you just, sorry, one second, just go here and drop off your passenger. And that's mechanics of the game. So as of right now, the arrow points at the exact direction of the passenger, not at a route to take to get to the passenger. It's up to the player to figure that out right now. So let's just go ahead and play here. So you'll notice that there's that arrow at the bottom of my screen that's pointing up, and the AI voice telling me to pull up. That's because I'm close to the lowest I can go. My employment area is, remember, 600 to 650, and if you look up, and I hope my mouse is coming through, at the top right of the screen here, you'll see I'm at about level 605. So I'm going to go ahead and play for a little bit here. I might as well grab this booster pack that I've already somehow managed to get.
I'll try and do that again.
Better stop eating at McDowell's all the time.
So there's a fair amount of both passenger banter, I guess I'll call it, as well as just pedestrians out on the street doing a lot of chitter-chattering, mostly to themselves. I know I haven't been doing it yet, but it is important to pay attention to the destination that the passenger provides you. They say it both audibly and it'll show up in the closed caption at the bottom of the screen. That becomes more and more important as you get to sort of know the layout of the streets. As you'll know from just by the name of the intersection pretty much where they're going. And
King and John.
so for example, King and Jug I know is this way. Level 630 is a little bit higher than I am, so here we go. Now, of course, you're not going to know that right from the beginning. Here's John Street, by the way. I'm not going to know that right from the beginning of the game, but as you play it more and more, you'll sort of begin to recognize the layout of things. By the way, I'm from Toronto in Canada. If any of you listening right now are also from Toronto, you will recognize the layout of this city as it's based on Toronto.
That was fun.
So looking around for a passenger here. Again, at the bottom left of the screen there, we've got that 3D sort of mini-map. It does point to the location of potential fares, and it itemizes the color of that particular fare too, if you're having a hard time locating them on your screen.
Hey, Adelaide and Sydney.
Or as you get to know the game more and more, you choose whether you want, say, a red fare, a blue fare, a green fare, depending on how much time you have left in the game. It makes it easier to sort of target where they are using that Navcom AI at the bottom left.
That stuff gets in everything.
Oops.
No tip for you.
Okay, I'm going to play a little bit harder here because I'm starting to run out of time already. Let's see what we can do.
Over here. Get in. Head office is sending out
I'm heading to Queen and Cameron.
So I already have a booster pack. I'm going to go ahead and use it because I'm actually already running low on time because I'm doing a lot of talking here and not really a whole lot of playing. So you can see it was already starting to get pretty fast there, almost to an uncontrollable point. Might as well grab this booster pack too.
Those were some sweet moves.
Let's see if I can find somebody quick.
You're crazy. Better hold on.
Hey, take me to Spadina's Soul. Level
Alright.
640. God, you're a maniac.
I think I've already gone too far here.
Hey, thanks for the ride.
So I'm likely going to lose this game pretty soon, which is okay. I'll be playing again.
I'm heading to Queen and St. Patrick. Level
But you really need to sort of go bang, 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 bang right from the beginning of the game in order to really do well in the long run for this game. By the way, there are no save games in this. Every time you play it, it's you're starting from scratch.
sweet moves.
They smell like mine on a stupid line.
Over here. Get in. Head office is sending out a booster pack.
Adelaide and Brandt.
Get to a taxi.
Level
Pick it up.
625.
Okay, there's there's another booster pack. This particular build of this game is not the same one that's been released. This is one of my testing builds where I was verifying that the booster packs work properly because there's way more that I've achieved so far in this game than I should normally. Oh, I am about to run out of time. Oh. Just oh. I'm about to be fired. Yeah. Okay, so we'll play again in a moment.
Thanks for trying the demo for my game. Why not go ahead and see us out to wishlist if you're interested in getting release day savings? That way, you'll get MiLE Taxi for 30% off.
Didn't realize I was playing the demo version of this. Oops. Wrong.
Press it yet?
Wrong screen there. Let's go with, let's change players. I'm just gonna, again, this is a development build, so well, it seems like it's a combination development build / demo build. It's okay.
Choose your player.
The joys of live streaming. Let's go with Emma. That's yeah, sure, we'll play with Emma. Oh, I'm just going to turn my camera back on. Sorry, everybody, that I'm not really able to check the chat or anything. I'm not sure how many people right now are watching this. Okay, I'm going to try and play a little bit better this round.
Why don't you go ahead and take me to Queen and University?
Level 610. Now, so one thing you might notice is that the passengers will occasionally give you a location that's slightly off. So sometimes they'll just sort of estimate that it's, well, in this case, level 610 when they were actually at about level 600 or 605. And every now and then they'll also give you an incorrect intersection, the cross streets. It'll never be, it's never going to be on the other side of the map, for example. It'll be close to the final destination. But I guess, like real people, every now and then that sort of thing happens.
Hey, take me to Spadina. Level 62.
Overboost.
Took you long enough.
Mile High City is filled with impatient passengers.
Hey, Spadina and Sullivan. Level 630. 10 out of 10!
Okay.
This way, come on!
Hey, Spadina and Richmond. Level 610.
Oh, fire.
No tip for you! Get in the car already!
Take me to, let's see here, Peter in Adelaide. Level 640.
This guy's a real slow talker. He can sometimes make it to his destination before he finishes asking.
Later.
All in all, there's about 250 or so, maybe 260 passengers that you can pick up.
Overboost.
Hurry up, I gotta go!
I'm heading to Beverly and Stephanie. Level 630.
All right.
You're giving me a migraine.
Quiet over there!
I'm still glad I got a kill. I don't care what anyone says. Those were some sweet moves.
Why, thank you. Anybody around here? Yeah, I've got somebody over here. Yeah.
Hurry up, I gotta go!
Well, go ahead and take me to Queen and Peter. Level 615. Finally.
Get in the car already! Drop me up at Nicole and Stephanie.
Wrong way.
Level 615.
Let's go.
Move it! I should never have gotten in this taxi! Get in the car already! Drop me at Queen and Peter. Level 645.
So again, I'll try and talk while I play. It's not always so easy. But I started making Mile High Taxi in December of 2019. So that's a little under 3 years ago. For those of you that may have missed the beginning of this stream, I took a lot of influence from the movie The Fifth Element. The taxi chase scene in that movie with Bruce Willis and MiLE Jovovich. Pronunciation of her last name I'm not sure of.
Overboost.
And sort of merge that in with the mechanics of Crazy Taxi. But the visual aesthetic of this game is definitely taken from The Fifth Element. So I'm a huge science fiction fan, and that includes cyberpunk and that genre. But I've gotten a little bit tired of sort of the dark, depressing looking aesthetic in cities that are often in those types of movies. And I found that the Fifth Element's interpretation of the future was kind of refreshing that way. Not necessarily realistic or the kind of city that I desire to live in the future, but there's a very common sort of aesthetic to that environment that people of the current day can relate to because of the architectural styles in it. And I wanted to really sort of bring that into my game, to have a bit of a familiarity with that, with the architecture and style of the current day, of the 21st century. So there's familiarity for the game player, but at the same time have something that's a bit futuristic looking.
Let's see here. King and Duncan. Level 630.
In terms of statistics, this game runs at about 160 to 180 frames per second on my computer. Admittedly, my computer is a bit of a beefy machine that I use for game development. There are a little over 250,000 objects in the game.
Drop me at Adelaide and Winmer. Level 635.
34 months of development. Oops, where am I going here? Hard to talk and play. 34 months of development so far. It's built in the Unity game engine. Version 2019.4.29 if anybody cares to know. Oh. Passenger is kind of like, what are you waiting for? Where's that hyper boost? Okay, so I have a bit of a time accrued on my clock here, so I guess I can talk a little bit more. A lot of the character voices in this game were done by a friend of mine by the name of Paul Adamson, who has been doing some voice work for the last couple of years, and as well as I think 6, 7, 8 or so voice actor talents from the website Fiverr.
In Beverly, level 615.
I'm heading kind of the wrong way here, but we'll get there.
I never did figure out what to do with the 3
There we go.
seashells. Cardboard works. You get no tip.
The 3 seashells. Okay, so for science fiction fans, you're probably, if you pay attention, you're gonna find a lot of little things sprinkled here and there in this game. Little, I don't know that I'll call them Easter eggs, though I guess they could be. But things that people say. The 3 seashells, for example, was a reference to the movie Demolition Man.
Level 610.
Oops. But not just so much in what people say, although there is a lot of what people say that comes directly from science fiction movies. But you'll notice in this game there's a lot of billboards, and I needed to populate those with something. So there is a lot of science fiction references and other video game references in those billboards. In fact, there's so many that I started running out of ideas, and I actually posted on to Reddit for help to find or to come up with ideas for what to fill the billboards with. And so I think I used probably 5, 10 or so of those suggestions in billboards.
I should never have gotten in this taxi. There ain't no room to sash here at all.
Hurry up, I don't go.
One of the most common things that people say to me on like my YouTube channel and my Twitter posts and things like that when they see this game is, do you need a multipass, from the Fifth Element? If you've been paying enough attention as I play here, you might have seen a couple of different billboards advertising multi-passes. For example, so lights, thank you Z's much better, again, Fifth Element. Z's Light, Arrakis Pumpkin Spice there, Mangalore Recruiting. You know, there's just a whole whackload of science fiction references throughout this game that people, when they're playing in free roam mode, might want to take a little bit more time to sort of look at. Things are getting a little faster with my boost. Let's get this guy down here.
Take me to level 615.
Oh, get that. Once you get going, you can really use like things like the walls of, say, like this bridge that I just bumped into there. I mean, I slammed into the other side of the bridge, which forced me to a stop, and that's what allowed me to pick up that passenger a little faster than I would have had I just used, whoa, excuse me, almost hit those cars, exclusively the brakes. Okay, let me just, yeah, that's me saying that. My navcom radar is right here. The driver gets a little impatient if we haven't picked anybody up in the last little while. She's passive-aggressively telling me that my navcom radar, which is that thing at the bottom left there, that it's right there and that I should be using it. This one's a bit of a longer fare. It's green.
Take me to, let's see here, Gang and Brand.
645. Level 645. Oh boy.
Wanna drive? No? Then shut it!
Oh, that was certainly fast.
So I think all of my music from the website Audio Jungle,
Dundas and Beverly.
which is a great website for sound effects, music, things like that are commercial or royalty free rather. This particular track just reminded me of that chase scene in The Fifth Element. It's a different style, sure, but it just reminded me of a lot, so I figured I'd pick it up and put it in the game.
Will we be there today? Later!
Grab Thar's hammer, or anybody that knows that one.
Well, go ahead and take me to John and Adelaide.
Oh, level 635.
Oops.
Long enough.
This way, come on!
Okay, why don't you go ahead and take me to Dundas and Beverly? 630.
Oops.
Get in the car already! I might get the board or
Just gonna pause this for a second to go off camera.
bird will maybe.
I've been told I have to get my ass to mouse.
Oops.
Wanna drive? No? Then shut it!
Ooh. I'm watching where I'm going.
I know three things. Yes!
I should never have gotten in this taxi.
They don't have now. Wait, they don't have private cars.
Starting to run out of time here.
Drop me up at...
Dundee Centuron. Level 610.
Oh, yeah! Super green! Coming right up! Thanks for the ride!
Biggest skank in Mile High City. Uh-huh.
I'm not saying it was real, but it was. This way, come on! I'm heading to...
Sending out a booster pack.
Level 630.
That countdown music is just trying to come
Want some more of that?
right on the edge
Again,
of running out of time here.
Again! You want some more of that? Will we be there
Gone too
today?
far.
I should never have gotten in this taxi. Get in the car already.
Drop me up at Peter and Richmond. Level
Uh,
625.
I think that's the end of this game.
You stop that.
Ah.
Thanks for the ride.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely running out of time now. Go, 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 go. Yes.
Car already.
Hey, Medina and Bulwer. Level 630.
I will not.
Ah. Oh yeah, no, I'm out of time. Alright. Let's change players.
Choose your player.
Alright. This time I think we'll go with Skylar. I kind of like the handling of Skylar's vehicle. Now let's just play.
No driver has ever looked this good.
How are we doing for time here? So I think it's about 22, quarter two. Okay, I'm gonna see what I can do in this game. Go a little faster.
Nicole and Stephanie.
Oops. Of course I say that, and now I'm gonna smash my way through everything.
Last time I was a
Later. Drop me at Queen and Peta. Level 645.
Sending out a booster pack. Get the taxi man to pick it up.
Thanks for nothing. Drop me at Dundas and Vinali. Level 635.
635. Oh, I gotta get that boost that's sitting around for me somewhere. Let's get to a taxi bay.
Him. Woohoo! That was fun.
There we go. Grab that hyper boost from here.
How are you still employed?
Pay attention. That was fast.
Come on, hurry up and get in. Hey, take me to...
So you might have noticed this already, but the other two cars have like a very 1950s look and aesthetic to them, and that of course was taken from the from the Fifth Element as well. Corbin Dallas's taxi in that game had a very classic look to it as well. So two of the three taxis in this are kind of like that. This has a bit of a classic look to it in its own. Has a bit of very 1980s kind of sports car feel to it. Which, I mean, for some people it's not that long ago, but I suppose that's, approaching 40 years ago now, so I think I'm showing my age there a little bit.
Thanks for the ride, Fred.
Okay. Head office is sending out a booster pack.
Dundas and Beverly. Level
Get to a
615.
taxi bay to pick it up.
Learn how to drive.
Oops, wrong way.
There ain't no room to stop
Where are we going here? I passed it.
You like glitter? You get no tip.
you popsicle.
You get it.
Hurry up and get it.
Drop me X cleaning, Cameron. Level 615. Thanks for nothing.
So I was just thinking I would like the chance to hop into free roam mode and just sort of drive around and check things out, maybe listen to a couple of people in the background, just so you can get an idea of what's sort of happening within the city. I'm not sure how much time left I have in this stream, but I'm thinking it's probably about 10 more minutes.
You're a Sunday driver. You think from nothing.
So I'll probably play a few more minutes here and then do that.
Hurry up and get it.
Take me to Golden. Oh, level 640, please.
Getting a little fast there. So you can get up to about 450 kilometers, and I don't know how many miles per hour that is. Maybe 200, 250 would be my guess. Not sure. 450 kilometers an hour gets pretty fast. It becomes uncontrollable at that point. You really won't only want to be doing those kinds of speeds when you're on a straightaway. Get down there, come on.
Thanks for the ride.
They only pack the Rottweilers here tonight to keep people from hiding.
Here we go.
Hey, take me to... Okay. Head office is sending out a booster pack. Level 6 taxi bay to pick it up.
Just around the corner here, down here.
Well, I'm almost on time.
Get a far fare. Green are the long distance fares.
Why don't you go ahead and take me to University?
King University. Okay, that couldn't be any further. So we'll get some speed going on here. Oh, yeah, it gets a little drive straight. Yeah, it gets a little too crazy at those kinds of speeds. Let's strafe a little bit here.
Are you coming? Hurry.
Hey, King and John, level 635.
Okay, so we're already on King, so we just need to head to John Street, so we are right here. Two for one here. Pick up the passenger and get the hyper boost.
Beverly and Stephanie. Level 630. This is fun.
Where that came from?
Finally.
I kind of cheated there. Just barely grabbing the edge of the drop-off point. But that's fine. That's part of the game.
I'm heading to Queen of Vanilla, level 625. Yeah!
Where that came from?
Oops, should have gone one more street. That's okay.
Does this thing go any faster? Later!
And I gotta find my TBF.
Never mind.
Here we go.
Thanks for picking me up, Jake. When you're ready, take me to University in Adelaide, level 625.
Whoa, let's get up there.
I'm not listening to you.
Well, certainly could.
Might just do maybe one or two more passengers and then we'll swing into free roam mode.
Hey,
I don't really have enough time to do the challenge mode.
Let him my friend on the side.
I feel like I just dropped somebody off there a minute ago. Oh, let's try you.
Here we go.
Hey, Queen and Cameron, level 620. Move it, would ya? That was fast.
Okay, let's do one more. Just grab you.
That was fast.
Actually, you know what? Let's
On time.
just. Yeah, I'm gonna go into the free roam mode now. You know what? I'm gonna go back on camera for the rest of this here. Let's bring that back up. Okay, so free roam mode. I think we've got what do we got? Like 8 minutes or so, maybe 10 minutes. So I guess I'll just play maybe 5 minutes of free roam mode. Finish this up. Okay, so you'll notice that of course there's no time on this, and that's because it's free roam mode. You can just basically go around. This is how you should learn the city, in my opinion. Learning it in game is fine too, but you really get to sort of learn the ins and outs of the city, driving around it without the pressure of the clock counting down on you. Let's see if we can get some pedestrians to chat a little bit.
I guess did you stop here anymore? I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, so each pedestrian sort of goes through like their own little spiel. they chat. Right. If you're familiar with the website called Overheard in New York, or the equivalent Overheard in London, I don't know how many of these websites there are, but I generally stick to those two. I have been inspired, taken some of the stuff that's found in there and sort of rephrased it a little bit and use it in this game. Sent it off to my voice actors and actresses, and they voiced it for me, and the pedestrians in Mile High City get to say things that were found in Overheard in New York City or Overheard in London. So sometimes they can be comical, they can just be random things, whatever. Yeah, so just sort of looking around the city here. got Huron Street right here. We can head on south down to Phoebe Street. Again, if you're from Toronto, you'll recognize this Spadina Avenue here, heading south. The end of the line here is King Street at the terminus of this street right here. Oh. So you'll notice here, if I hit this vehicle, it affects me. I don't affect them. They're sort of on their own path, doing their own thing. Those drivers. There's no real intelligence to them or anything like that. They're not even really supposed to be seen as being obstacles or anything like that. They're just, because there's really not that many of them. I think there's at any given time maybe 200 vehicles in the vicinity, which, I mean, this is a three-dimensional game, you know. There's not just back, forward, side to side, but there's up and down, so it may not look like that many, but about 200, 300 of them or so at any given time, where you are. But you can smash into them, but again, they don't go off course or anything when that happens. It's Adelaide Street here. Head north up John Street, east along west along Richmond. Yeah, so this doesn't look anything like Toronto, so I'm not mentioning these streets because it looks like Toronto. I just know the street layout because, first of all, I'm from Toronto, but also because you really do get used to the streets in this after you've sort of gone through and done free roam mode enough time. How are we doing for time here? I think I should probably end it here. Just get out of the game. And as any marketing person will tell you, I should give a call to action. So, yeah, if the game looks at all interesting to you, just head over to Steam and search for MiLE Taxi, and you'll be able to grab the demo right now during Next Fest, or you can or add it to your wish list. I would suggest adding it to your wish list if this sort of game appeals to you. In terms of what to expect, well, I mean, you've seen sort of what to expect in the game. I'm a solo developer. I'm the only person that's making this game, so it's not a massive game by any means. It's certainly not a AAA title in terms of graphics, but it's also not the worst visual look in the world either. So just it's a small game in terms of what you do. You know, you go out there, you pick up passengers, you drive them to their destinations as fast as you can, and you drop them off. You know, that's what it comes down to. Yes, you can strategize around which passengers you pick up based on their colors. You know, that again, that's representation of the distance that they're going, and make determinations as to which ones you'll pick up based on how much time you have left, things like that, or how much money you want to earn. You know, this is connected to Steam leaderboards and things like that, so you know, you compete with other people. But yeah, fairly small game in terms of scope. Looking to probably put it up for about $14, $15, $16. Price still to be determined. Comes out later this year. I'm thinking late November. So again, head over to Steam and MiLE Taxi, search, add it to your wish list. Thanks again for watching. I'm sorry I wasn't able to chat to people at the same time. I actually don't even have the chat up right now. If there's anybody out there, I sure hope so. But thanks again for watching. I'm going to sign off now. Bye.
I'm heading to Jonathan, level 645.
Shut up.
Ew, what the hell is that smell?
There's more where that came from.
How am I supposed to do my makeup in
Want to
here?
drive? No? Then shut it!
You suck at driving. Oh, you like the smashy, hey?
Watch me, you idiot.
No, chill out. Next time, I'm taking Johnny Cab. Last time I was in Mile High City, some rando attacked me with popcorn.
You're crazy. Better hold on.
0 strawberries for you.
Out the roast.
I'm going to be late!
What the heck just happened, rookie?